everybody, welcome back to IGN Live at E3 2017. My name is Marty. I'm joined by Brendan. We're here with Lost Sphear. This is really exciting. So for folks who don't know what this is, what's Lost Sphear?
Lost Sphear is in the tradition of the JRPG classics of yesteryear.
Okay, I love, you've already sold me.
Yep. So this came out of the Tokyo RPG Factory, and this was a special division created by the Square Enix CEO. He really wanted to get back to, like, you know, we've advanced so far in our graphics and everything, but we had great gameplay back in the 90s, back in the golden age of like Super Nintendo, Final Fantasy VI, Chrono Trigger, and there's still people that like love that style of game, myself included. And it's like, what if we got past all of, like, you know, the expensive graphics and super long game cycles and went back to like what we know works and what we know is awesome, and sort of have like an art house studio to really bring us back to the roots.
I love that. I love that Square can have, you know, Final Fantasy 15, 7 Remake, Kingdom Hearts 3, those aren't going anywhere. But at the same time, like you said, these games, obviously this is the successor to I Am Setsuna.
Yes.
Which very much, you know, carried the torch of those 16-bit RPGs that you mentioned. Yeah,
so the studio made I Am Setsuna last year, very well received, and it used like the backbone of like the Chrono Trigger engine, Chrono Trigger being probably one of the best RPGs of all time.
Hands down.
And so you didn't have like random encounters, but you had like set encounters, you'd see the enemies, you would work with your party members. One of the first times you would partner up with your party members and do special attacks. And it was just like a fantastic addition of like the ATB battle system that was part of the Final Fantasy legacy. And it was wonderful, and it was good to bring it back.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, you know, JRPG fans loved it, and so we're getting this now. So is this a sequel? Is this just another game in a similar vein?
So they took what they learned from Setsuna, and then they wanted to make a bigger and better game. And so the part of Lost Sphear is like, you know, we were more in one area. There was a very winter wonderland, a somber winter with I Am Setsuna. Now we're broadening out the world, separate world, but it's so you're seeing more civilizations in this one. So you'll see more machines. Before it was sort of like beasts and human adversaries, and now they're you know, like right now we're kind of seeing like a Death Rattler, some B-roll where they're fighting a boss, and it's just like, it's a big giant machine with lots of guns and lasers, and sort of adding that you know, magic versus technology, which is, again, was one of those core themes of the
16-bit generation. Both Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy VI had that. So walk us a little bit through the battle system. Is this kind of verbatim what we remember from those 16-bit turn-based RPGs, or have things sort of evolved? Have we learned things about battle systems over the years and adapted it to the games like this?
So yeah, a lot of the core tenets, the ATB tenets, are the same. What is really different about this, about Lost Sphear's battle system, is movement elements. So you'll see in some of the B-roll, the characters will be walking around. It might look like they're like stutter stepping or something. That is the player deciding, okay, where do I want to position my player before he does his attack? So you can like line up your attack. And like, for example, Locke is like a sharpshooter with like a crossbow. So he can like, not so much area of effect, but he can do like line of effect. And if you can line up the enemies just so, then you're hitting multiple enemies, you're being more efficient in battle.
Gotcha, gotcha. So it has a bit of sort of, I don't want to say a strategy RPG, but there is like this, you have a small degree of movement before an attack, and positioning an attack might either, like you said, increase the damage or decrease the damage you take.
Right, and then you'll have like, Kanata is the main character. He's, you know, your sword hero, melee. And then there's Lumina, who's gloves, sort of like Tifa a little bit. So, you know, they'll be much better ranged melee fighters. And there's some characters you'll want to keep farther back, you know, keep the ranged fighters away from the fray.
What do you think it was about that ATB battle system, of whether you're thinking of Chrono Trigger or Final Fantasy VI, that sort of has remained so timeless and has persevered, and now in 2017, 2018, you know, people can still play it and still have an amazing time with it?
I think it was the flexibility, because some people like to have their RPGs, they want to play them because they don't want action, they want to think, they want to ponder, they want to make the perfect move, they want to play chess. And, you know, maybe they want to play the ATB on the wait mode, so it gets to their turn and they can like think through it a little bit, whereas some people might want a little bit more action, and it gives you that as well. You can have the frenetic pace of the enemy is still attacking you, you better find that item quickly, so it kind of mimics that excitement of battle while you're still, in a structured environment.
Yeah, yeah. Also one of the things in Chrono Trigger that I feel like so many people remember, especially about the battle system, were the group attacks.
Yes.
Pairing certain characters. If Frog and Chrono were there, you could do the X/. Does that exist in Lost Sphear?
X-Cross will be back. Some of the other ones we're going to wait a little bit wait later,
sure.
But yeah, definitely X-Cross. That's too legendary. It has to come back.
That's very cool. Just asking about the title. Sphere isn't spelled exactly like how we traditionally. When I saw it on a doc, I was like, did we have a typo here?
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit why Sphere might be spelled differently?
So, a little bit's open to interpretation, but the key part of it is the lost portion, and that's going to be a key part of the gameplay, whereas Setsuna was sort of about like sacrifice and duty. Here we're sort of looking into memory, and Lost Sphear, in some ways like it's the planet, it's a sphere, and there's some other thing like the moon, but the lost element is the key part because the memory of the world starts to fade.
Yeah.
And you start to see these like creepy voids, and the players go out, they're in a peaceful village, very Chrono Trigger-esque. Some monsters are around. The village elder wants you to ring a bell, go check it out in the forest. They go to the forest, fight the monsters there, and then they come out, and their hometown is faded, and nobody knows what's happened. And it's that lost, isolating feeling of like, what if everything that you held dear just vanished.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. So yeah, this is very clearly. I mean, from the name lock to the battle system, this is rife with sort of homages to the 16-bit and 32-bit classic RPGs. Are there any direct references, or is it more of sort of the heart and soul of those games?
More heart and soul.
Yeah. And then is this something that will players who made it through I Am Setsuna, will they be able to see things in this game and be like, oh, it's that character, that town, that thing?
Can't really confirm any of that. Like, the core gameplay elements will still be there, but as for any more direct Easter eggs, we can't speak to at this point.
Gotcha. So here we see a clip of a little more exploration. It seems this is like a abandoned shipyard. Tell us a little bit about the sort of the overworld and the exploration.
Yeah, so definitely the team, after they proved that the concept worked with I Am Setsuna, they definitely wanted to show that they could do more than snow, and so they have a lot more environments in this game. Like here, for example, we're looking at an abandoned shipyard. We've got the overworld maps where there's a lot of exploration in that, and one thing I like in that is that you can pick up items. If you see that little shiny sparkle,
the glimmer,
the OCD gamer in me, I have to go every single corner. That a dead end is just a secret treasure chest. There's on the world map you can find treasures as well. So here we've got like a nice forest scene.
That guy doesn't look nice.
Yeah, that's definitely a boss battle.
You said, obviously, I Am Setsuna, very heavily themed with winter. Is this tied to a season, would you say?
No, I mean, this is more the emotion of, like, the memory, whereas, like, the winter very much fit the theme of Setsuna due to, like, the loss and kind of the sadness and, like, the bleakness that could happen with that story. But, this goes in a different direction with the memory.
Very cool.
Memory's a very cool theme to play with.
How is this sort of a through-line RPG, going along the beaten path, or is it open to side quests and it's sort of seeing what's around the horizon and getting into some adventures?
At this point, we're just kind of introducing the title, so some of that stuff will come as we get into the campaign a little bit.
Cool.
But
one exciting thing, this game is coming to Nintendo Switch, which I feel like is a perfect platform for sort of those more nostalgic experiences like that. Tell us a little bit about why Switch works well for an RPG like this.
It's a really good pick up and play RPG. It's one of those that you can take it on the go. It's easy if you just want to grind through a little bit and level up your characters, maybe level up some skills, get some items. It's really nice for that. I've got a little time. I can play now. Okay, I'm at my destination. I can put it back, and then when you're home, put it in the dock, and then see the graphics because they're really nice graphics.
The art style's undeniably gorgeous from this, and especially with the like you mentioned the ATB battle system, where in the environment the enemy will pop up, and you don't go to a splash screen. You're fighting right there.
Yes. And then of course not just Switch, but also PlayStation 4 and also on Steam as well.
Very cool. So when can we expect Lost Sphear?
We're looking at early 2018.
Very cool.
And you can pre-order the physical version of it through the Square Enix eStore right now.
Awesome. That sounds perfect. Brandon, thank you so much for joining us. I'm super excited for Lost Sphear. Guys, stick around. We're going to have so much more right here, IGN Live at E3 2017.